Hey, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality that applies the principles of interiorism to getting rich in 2025 and beyond, to living free, to learning those few techniques and devices to design your life. That's what this channel is all about. And today I want to talk about a topic that is basically confused by almost every single guru and teacher in this sphere. There are very few that actually get this correct because I believe that some part of this is hardwired into the human psyche. It's a part of the matrix. It's a part of actually the separation that we came down into, and it has to be unlearned. It has to be unlearned by remembering who you truly are. And that is right action. What is right action? What do we have to do to attain what we desire? Beyond imagining it, beyond declaring it, is there anything that we have to do on this plane? And I say no. There's absolutely nothing you have to do, because there's nothing you can do, because all of your actions are limited by the film roll that you're on. And when you get on the other film roll, those actions will unfold automatically. So you need to do nothing. You need not lift a finger. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Do nothing. And again, the only teachers that really get this right, even Bashar, deviates from this a little bit, again, because it's a deeply ingrained belief, and it is very few and far between to find someone who's even ready to receive this. But I believe the subscribers of our channel are ready to receive it, ready to hear it. Do nothing. And so the first thing I want to do is play a little clip by Neville Goddard that talks about this, and then we'll discuss this, guys. And again, I'm saying the only teachers the big teachers of law of attraction, law of assumption, who get this really correct are Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks explains this and dilates on this in a very spot-on fashion. You can't go wrong by listening to the lectures of Abraham Hicks on action. Of course, if you're new to Abraham Hicks, her teachings are very disparate, very spread out, and you'll need to comb through them and study them. That's why we want to give you this information in basically one area, and in a way that's very easy for you to digest and assimilate. And the other teacher, of course, who teaches this perfectly and spot on is Neville Goddard. In my opinion, almost all other major teachers of this get this a little bit wrong, because they say, well, you imagine it, but then you need to take actions as if you were the person who what? No. You're going to take actions, but those are going to basically be under compulsion, as Neville Goddard said, which means you're going to be pulled on that path. And it's not going to feel like taking action. And we'll discuss, again, this aspect when we discuss what is the criterion for right action. The only right action is when you're taking no action. So right action equals no action. And we're going to explain that and boil that down a little bit for you here. But first, let's listen to Neville Goddard.
You can change the dream. Change it by simply daring to assume that you are now what reason is going to tell you, that you're not it now, and it's difficult to imagine that you ever will be it. Forget that. All things are possible to God, and you found who He is. He is your own wonderful human imagination. That's God.
So God equals your own human imagination.
I'll give you a little secret. People say I work so hard at it. The imagination will do little that we seek from compulsion. It will do little, if anything, until we have imagined the wish fulfilled. It does not move under compulsion. We have to imagine the wish fulfilled for imagination to take action. So when people will tell you, but I work so hard at it, so that's why you're failing.
That's why you're failing.
All things are possible to God, and God is your own wonderful human imagination, and his ways are higher than your mortal level. Well then, what are you interfering with that state for? Assume the end, and don't work it at all. You'll be moving under compulsion to manifest it. If you simply assume it and let it be. What do you do after someone is pregnant? Just let it be. And if you don't, if you interfere with it, you're going to perform a certain miscarriage.
You're going to have a miscarriage if you mess with it.
You simply assume that you are and go about your business. And when you least expect it, you'll feel the evidence of it coming into your world. And then you can speak with the authority of experience. Now let us go into this.
Now, that's why, by the way, the biblical scriptures talks about this in terms of going into sleep. And so what Neville Goddard and so many other teachers recommend is that you imagine your scene or you get into the state. And guys, it doesn't have to be a picture. It could be words. And eventually, when you get good enough at it, you don't even have to imagine anything. You just get into that state. Joe Dispenza talks about writing down a letter. Let's say you want a flow of money into your life. Let's say you want to make $10,000 a month. So you can basically write down what that would be like. I have $10,000 a month flowing to me freely. You can write down some of the emotions that you would feel. Enjoyment, ease, happiness, flow. And then you practice that so much that eventually you can write down a letter. Let's say M for money. And then whenever you think of that letter, you will get it immediately transported into the state of that. And the more you do that, the more you return to that state, the quicker it's going to come to you. But Neville Goddard talks about this, that you do it right before sleep. So the symbolism here is that you get into your state, you declare what you want, you declare that you already are it, that you already have it, and then you don't go out and take action. You don't go out and look and say, oh, what business do I have to start, and look that up and so on and so forth. You simply go straight to the end, you live that end, and you do not lift a finger. And I see so many coaches, again, people like Tony Robbins, who's a great coach and has great things to say. But then they'll say, well, you have to follow this system and you have to take action every day. No, do not take any action. And I want to clarify this. Many people would ask, well, Javier, if there's nothing to do except get into that state, what's your channel for? And I say my channel is to remind you to get into that state, to practice together getting into that state, and then teaching you actions that you can take. Yes, actions that will basically keep you from feeling compulsion to take action on your state. I hope you understand me just a little bit. So there are actions that you can take to keep your mind and body occupied so that you're not spending energy wondering what action should I take on the state. Because there's no action that you have to take on the state. I hope you understand me just a little bit. So anyone who tells you there's a system you have to follow, there are actions that you have to take, they're incorrect. Now, here's the little caveat here. And Alan Watts talked about this. The interest of making this video very short, I just want to go into this just very quickly. Alan Watts and even Abraham Hicks talk about the fact that if you try not to take action, well, not taking action is also an action. So here's the conundrum. Let's say you feel a great attraction to, let's just give an example. Let's say, you know what? I think I should try to look up how to start an HVAC business, a business working on air conditioning. You got that inspiration and you feel good about that, then yes, go take that action. Because that's not action, because you're being pulled towards it. But if you're now feeling, no movement on, let's say, your desire, the state that you've gotten into, and then you say, well, I don't feel any movement on it. I need to take some action. What can I do? Oh, I need to go look up some businesses. Do not take action in that instance. So the guides to tell you whether or not you're taking right or wrong action is, of course, we go back to Abraham Hicks, the emotional scale. How does it feel? Does it come from a place of inspiration or does it come from a place of fear? And if you're not practiced in discernment, in distinguishing between the different emotional resonances of whatever you feel inspired to do, then you just have to practice, guys, and that's practice. So if you feel inspired to take an action, take that action. And you'll get the results very quickly as to whether or not that was right action, because you'll see how it feels. If it feels bad during or after that action, then stop as soon as you can and go back into the presence. Go back into non-action. We're going to be talking about presence in the next video in honor of Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, was put back on Oprah's recommended reading list, or list of recommended books, for the first time in history, for the second time. And of course, Eckhart Tolle is a great teacher of presence. If you could just stay in presence most of the time. Neville Goddard talks about going into the I am, going into the silence. If you could just stay in a state of I am most of the time, then, as Abraham Hicks said, everything that you want will flow to you easily and effortlessly. But again, if you're looking for actions to take and you feel like you must take action, that is the time to stand back and go into presence. Because there's no action that you need to take. You need do nothing. You need not lift a finger. And that will also take away any of these issues about, am I doing it right? I still get so many questions from clients and subscribers, people who watch my videos, who email me and say, Javier, it's not coming. I don't think I'm doing it right. How many times should I imagine it? In this sense, imagining it is also an action. And I say you need do it no times. Just declare it once, and it is yours. Of course, as Neville Goddard said, you'll want to go and give yourself the perfume, the fragrance of that state. You'll want to get into that state, not to get it to you, but knowing that you can go there anytime in the temple. Think about contemplation. This area is the temple. You can go into the temple and give it to yourself now. And then, of course, paradoxically, the laws, like law of attraction, come into effect where that becomes attracted to you by your vibration of doing that. But don't do that to attract it to you. Abraham Hicks makes it very clear. Even vibration, if you make that into an action, then that sort of works against you. But it can't even work against you for very long. That's why I've made videos and told clients, sometimes go out on purpose and take the wrong action. It might delay it a little bit in time, space, but what you'll realize is that no action you take, pro or con, can take away the state from you that you've already conceived and resonated with within. So I tell you, there's no need to take action. Get into the state and go to sleep. And stop listening to these teachers that say you must take action. Because that's what's getting you all tangled up. And then that's what's moving the goalposts for you, moving your desire further from you in time and in space. But that doesn't even matter, guys. You can go back into the temple of your contemplation and you can be there now. And what you'll realize is you need nothing on the exterior plane to be happy, because it's already there. And the more you do that, the quicker you will have that physical manifestation. And you'll know it's not because of any action that you've taken. It is because of the state that you've resonated with. So guys, thank you so much for watching the videos. Thank you for liking the videos. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Help us get the word out and become a member of this growing community of Master Manifestors. Till very soon, guys, with great love and appreciation, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, bidding you a wonderful Monday and a wonderful week.